In the dead of the night, Tyler meets up with Wednesday, who accuses him of being the Hyde after seeing her recent vision. She questions him why he killed Dr. 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿, but since he's acting clueless, Wednesday enlists help from the Nightshades. After Bianca uses her siren powers on him, Tyler wakes up at Xavier's studio and finds himself in chains. When he claims he's just a normie, Wednesday refutes his words, showing him a photo of their mothers in Nevermore's fencing club. She knows that Sheriff Galpin married an outcast, and after birthing Tyler, his mother fell into postpartum depression, which triggered her condition as a Hyde. When Wednesday starts pulling out torture materials, the Nightshades become uneasy until finally they back out and leave. As Sheriff Galpin listens to 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿's records about how his son becomes cold and detached whenever they talk about his mother, he receives an urgent call from Weems. While Wednesday is about to torture Tyler, the sheriff arrives and takes her to the station. Ultimately, Galpin isn't pressing charges against Wednesday, but the adults refuse to listen to her claims that Tyler is a Hyde. When she's about to leave, Tyler stops her with his demeanor changing and becoming mockingly. He asks Wednesday what it feels like to lose. He reveals he knows what he is, and even admits that he enjoys killing his victims, which makes Wednesday seethe. At Weems' office, the principal announces that Wednesday is expelled, and when the girl tries to negotiate for more time, the principal refuses, stating that Wednesday is to leave tomorrow. Later, she visits Xavier and admits that Tyler, who's the actual Hyde, used her to frame him. When he discovers that she knew the truth through a vision after kissing Tyler, Xavier scoffs and refuses to help her. He claims that Wednesday ruined his life, calling her toxic. He demands her to leave and never come back, as that way no one will get hurt anymore. When morning comes, Wednesday confides to Enid that maybe Xavier is right. She needs to leave to keep the prophecy from happening. Still, she's unhappy that Tyler is walking around free. But Enid assures her that students of Nevermore will find a way to deal with him if he tries anything. Upon hearing that Eugene woke up, Wednesday visits him, and when he reveals that the figure who blew up the cave was someone wearing red boots, Wednesday realizes that the Hyde's master is actually the unassuming Miss Thornhill. The psychic immediately confronts the botany teacher, calling her Laurel, and accusing her of being the Hyde's master. After claiming that Tyler revealed everything to her, Wednesday deduces how Laurel targeted, manipulated, and enslaved him until he became loyal to her. Eventually, Laurel stops pretending and demands Tyler to shut Wednesday up permanently, confident that the Hyde will obey her. When Wednesday asks her about the victims, Laurel answers they're merely pawns in a bigger game. Having heard enough, Tyler turns into Weems, who's been using her ability all this time. Laurel acts quickly and injects the principal with Nightshade, killing her, before knocking Wednesday out with a shovel. Meanwhile, Eugene calls Enid, asking for Wednesday, and just as he's telling her that Thornhill is the bad guy, Thing arrives and tells Enid what happened. Ajax goes to get the Nightshades while Eugene is determined to help no matter what. When Wednesday wakes up, she finds herself in the crypt, all tied up. After Laurel makes Tyler leave, she reveals that as Crackstone's descendants, her family remained committed to their ancestors' mission, to protect normies from outcasts. Upon seeing the jars of body parts, Wednesday realizes Tyler's been collecting them to resurrect the long-dead pilgrim. When Wednesday claims that her endeavor is impossible, Laurel shows her Goody's stolen Book of Shadows, revealing that the Addams ancestor cursed Crackstone's soul, and to release him, the blood of Goody's direct descendant on the night of a blood moon is needed. With Wednesday's blood on the tomb, Laurel reads from Goody's book, and Crackstone's resurrection is successful. Laurel implores that he rid the world of outcasts, just as Wednesday escapes her cuffs. However, before Wednesday can leave, Crackstone stabs her with a knife, leaving her in the crypt. Meanwhile, Enid and the Nightshades come up with a plan to get everyone to immediately escape, by having the sirens use their song on the entire school. Back in the crypt, Wednesday wakes up to Goody's image, who's telling her that Crackstone must be stabbed through his black heart. Through her mother's necklace, Goody heals Wednesday, never to be seen again as a consequence. While everyone escapes, Enid and Thing look for Wednesday, when suddenly the blonde starts to wolf out. Healed, Wednesday then encounters Tyler, who transforms into a Hyde. But before he can attack her, he's thwarted by Enid in wolf form, allowing Wednesday to run back to Nevermore. Everyone is in a panic when Crackstone and Laurel arrive, and as the woman is too noisy, the ancestor orders her to leave. Crackstone then sets the school on fire, while Sheriff Galpin shoots the Hyde, his own son. The Hyde tries to attack the sheriff, but Enid manages to defeat him, and both teens return to their human forms. At Nevermore, Wednesday takes the sword that her mother once used and faces Crackstone. Suddenly, Xavier, who was freed by Thing, appears, shooting an arrow at the ancestor, but the pilgrim only sends it back. Wednesday shields him and orders Xavier to save the other students. She and Crackstone then fight, but Wednesday's sword breaks and she's pinned down by his power. However, a heroic Bianca intervenes and stabs him. As he's distracted by the siren, Wednesday stabs him in the heart with the broken tip of the sword, prompting Crackstone to burn before blowing up. But the danger isn't over yet as Laurel cocks a gun at Wednesday. However, Eugene's bees swarm her, incapacitating the woman thoroughly. While Wednesday knocks her out, a bloody Enid emerges from the woods, and immediately Ajax hugs her, bringing her to a throng of students who now have a new respect for the werewolf. Enid is initially worried about Wednesday, but the psychic eventually appears at the gates, and the two friends finally hug. The next day, after Wednesday finishes her novel, she and Enid pay respects to their deceased principal. Later, Wednesday thanks Bianca for her help the previous night, before making up with a freed Xavier, who gives her a smartphone. In the car, Wednesday receives a message from an unknown number, stating that they're watching her, while in an armed vehicle, a restrained Tyler wakes up and starts transforming into a Hyde.
My very first stalker. Maybe this forced vacation will be more interesting than I imagined. Unlike my novel, not every thread has been tied up, nor every question answered. Secrets are still lurking in the dark corners of Jericho.